taking off in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yo. It's your boy T.O., as you know.
It's your boy O-Rain, real name, no games, no gimmicks.
Yo, it's the motherfucking Fade Podcast, one-stop shop for everything TV, media, and film related, along with any of the goddamn thing you want to talk about, coming to you live, direct, Proof of Concept Studios. What in the fuck is up? What's going on?
Man, what is up? Like, this is a weird time of the year, isn't it? Like, shit is happening, but like, this is the type of...
Watch that phone, by the way. It's gonna...
Yeah,
like...
Gotcha. Yeah, just hold it here. It's one of those times of the year where like everyone is just like in a holding pattern, right? You're just waiting for like Christmas and New Year's, and I mean there's shit happening, right? We've got like Spider-Man. Has he made it home yet?
I believe he's
on his way home.
Get home, not quite there. He's on 95, about to hit 695.
Yeah, he just needs to like share his location at this point, so we know where he is.
Yeah.
Spider-Man will definitely hit you like, yo, I'm on my way home. Like come outside. Like I'll be there. Like, no, you're not. This is like the 4th movie. You're still not here.
Yeah.
So we got Spider-Man coming up. We got The Matrix 4 coming. There's a lot of dope shit happening, but you know, we're all just kind of
2 away from it.
Yeah, we're all just kind of like waiting for this year to be over. That's really it. I wish they would have. To be honest, I wish they would have delayed The Matrix 4 until like
Fuck
January.
Fuck you. Hey, I'm taking Ridley Scott's approach. Fuck you.
Which we'll talk about later. But no, here's why. 2021 doesn't deserve The Matrix 4. It doesn't deserve it. The Matrix 4, like I haven't even seen the movie yet, but like just, you know, historically from like what we've seen, this film franchise is too good to live in 2021. Unless they're trying to make an easy run for like movie of the year, where it's like, we dropped it in the last like 8 days, you know, just give us the crown. This 2021 doesn't deserve a film of this caliber. Put in 2023, top of the year, let us enjoy it all the way through. 21, we all want to forget about this year.
Damn, just put it.
This is the hangover year. Or 2022.
Yeah,
2022.
Okay.
This is the hangover year. Like 2020 was just like a shit show, right? So when you go out and you get fucked up and you spend a lot of money, you lose your phone, your credit cards, and then the next morning, which is 2021, you're just like, yo, what happened?
Trying to figure it out.
I don't remember anything from last night. And then you're just like, I just want to get this shit over with.
Yeah, 2021 has been it's been a fucking year, dude. It's been a year of just a lot of crazy shit happened, but like all in succession, like where it's just like we don't have time to like really marinate on any one thing. It's just all been fucking insane. Like literally, we had a fucking full-blown insurrection this year that thankfully failed hilariously. But like we just rolled past it. Like, okay. And like on to the next thing. What?
You mean some motherfuckers from West Virginia tried to overthrow our very own government?
What's for lunch?
Like, all right. What you doing tonight?
Yeah. Taco Tuesday. Like, what the fuck? But yeah, I don't know, man. Crazy fucking year, man. But you know, I'm not really one to like, I don't know what the word is, to
dwell, shall we say?
Dwell too much on that shit. It's just kind of like, all right, keep it pushing. And I am very determined for specific shit in 2022. So it's like I got no time to play. You know how we like say we wait till next year. Next year's gonna be my no. Like tomorrow's gonna be my fucking time.
It's a great mentality to have.
Yeah, man.
Tomorrow's not gonna be my day. It's
you
Thursday.
Looked at the calendar.
I already know. I love the mentality, but I know tomorrow's like, oh god, I've got a meeting at 9 a.m. I don't want to go to. It's like, oh, tomorrow's not my day. Maybe Friday.
Bad. Well, there you go. Well, on that note, man, as we talk about tomorrow and the rest of the week, let's talk about this week, next week, man. Let's get into some this week, next week shit. So this week we've got Being the Ricardos comes out this week. Of course, the story of Lucille Ball and Ricky Ricardo. Is that his actual Ricky Ricardo? Is that his actual name? I think that's his government.
I would
right?
like to imagine it is one of the smoothest names of all time.
Ricardo, yeah. You aren't getting ghosted on Tinder with Ricky Ricardo. No. Nah. You're getting they're replying. They're swiping what, left or right? Which one is it?
I think you swipe right if you like. You swipe left if you.
There you go. Okay, yeah. Everybody's swiping right on Ricky Ricardo. West Side Story comes out this week. Or wait, does it come out this week? I think so. I'm pretty sure West Side Story comes out this week.
I'm not a big fan of musicals, but we've done one this year. We did the what is it? The Heights.
The Heights.
Was it the Heights or In the Heights?
I believe it was called In the Heights. I think that's what it's called.
There was another musical that came out this year that I thought we were supposed to check out, but I
don't know.
It was one of those music. I was just like, nah, I can't fucking do it. There was what was the other big musical that came out this year?
Got the fuck out of me, dude. I do not know.
It'll come to me at like the worst time. I'll be driving home after we record the show. It's like, that was it.
But yeah, I believe West Side Story does come out this weekend. I apologize if I don't have that right. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. I don't know why I can't just quickly verify this. What the fuck?
Listen, if you're not right, they're wrong. That's how I usually put it.
Naturally. Yeah. So okay, West Side Story does come out this week. And then Red Rocket, which is it's actually a movie by Sean Baker. So Sean Baker is the dude who did Tangerine as well as the Florida Project. And my apologies, somebody's out there just fucking screaming as loud as always during the podcast when somebody decides to be on the street immediately in front of my house yelling with some fucking ignorance about
I think those are the people who like. So as I was coming over, as I was about to enter the place, they pulled up. They literally like weird place to stop. If I see someone walking down the sidewalk, I'm not gonna stop right where they are.
Oh, they literally were walking and then stopped.
No, I was walking and they drove up and they literally stopped. So like I'm like the person's window.
They do that all the time because it's a one way, and also so like whenever you have like a delivery or what, like that's happened to me a few times.
Listen, they lucky I had a strap on me. You know what I mean, I normally keep it tucked, but tonight,
yeah, all right. But the Florida Project,
great movie by the way,
yeah,
really good movie,
really good movie. I love Sean Baker's sensibilities when it comes to movies. He tells really candid stories and a very touching. May be an odd word to use in that realm, but like poignant maybe is sort of like the word I'm searching for. But he tells stories that when you just look at the premise is like, oh, this isn't that interesting.
Yeah.
But then you watch it, you're like, oh my God.
If you read the synopsis for Florida Project, it's like,
some kids
out of work mother is struggling to take care of 2 kids while staying at a motel. And it's like, it doesn't sound too exciting. But when you watch the movie, it's like, there's such like a human element to it. Right, where it's like this thing is like people are really living this experience, and then like you fall in love with the characters, and then like you genuinely become concerned for their like well-being, and like he does that so well in these types of movies.
And I applaud his willingness to not just go out there and cast somebody who's already done some shit. I believe in Tangerine, I believe the people that he worked with weren't actually actors or actresses; they were just people, that he found to play. I think. I can't remember.
Aside from like Willem Dafoe, I'm pretty sure
that was the Florida Project. But
in Tangerine,
he did that. But he actually also did that with the Florida Project, in that the mother was she wasn't an actress. She was just like she was like somebody who's like on Instagram, and he found her, and he was like, hey, you want to be in this movie? And she's like, man, get the fuck out of here. And he's like, no, really, do you want to be in this movie?
Yeah.
And she's like, all right. And I guess, I don't know, maybe he just saw how she like interacted with Instagram and shit, and he was just like, all right. Like, so anyways, I applaud his ability to do that, because I think that's how you can, especially if you spend the time to sort of guide them. I feel like that's the way you can find some really good shit, is when you find somebody who's just like, this is just their personality. Like, this is just who they are kind of naturally.
Yeah.
And it seems to fit your story, rather than just take whatever the latest actor or actress who's like the person in Hollywood to play the role that you're needing. It's not always,
it was crazy because she was so believable though, and I think that's why it worked, right?
Yeah, for sure. So anyways, so he's coming out with Red Rocket. So I'm looking forward to that. Next week, we've got the much heralded Spider-Man No Way Home. Honestly, at this point, I kind of don't give a fuck anymore.
Aren't they coming out with another trailer?
I feel like they are coming out
on
with
the 15th or something
like that.
Third
trailer.
Oh, what the fuck?
Fuck, just drop the fucking movie already, right? Like, and I'm so mad because this is taking up. So The Matrix comes out the week after, and this is taking up basically all the screens and like IMAX and shit. So like the only times for The Matrix are like really just stupid fucking time. It's like 3:30 in the 3:30 p.m. and like 10 p.m. and it's like, motherfucker, like who the fuck does that work for? like who's got the fuck, even though I am seeing it at like 10 o'clock at night, but outside of my crazy ass, who's like really fucking looking for those times? Obviously, like I'm sure they'll sell out of tickets because people just love The Matrix. But they've also got like I was looking for the IMAX screenings and they had like 11 a.m. Who's seeing IMAX movie 11 a.m. on a Wednesday after or Wednesday morning?
I might actually book that time.
I was kind of thinking about it myself too.
If
I wasn't going with people, I'd have to do it.
Yeah.
But actually, if you go, dude, I'll double dip. I'll see it twice in the same day.
So it is coming out on a Wednesday. I don't have to pay my bills. Is it like is the 22nd a Wednesday?
Yeah, 22nd is a Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I've got.
Hey, look, man.
You know why? You know why?
Rocking with it, I'll rock with it.
Because here's the reason why. My boss is out that entire week. So now my boss.
You better hope your boss don't listen.
And her boss. Even if they do. I'm still gonna do. Listen, I'm gonna be on. I'm just taking an extended lunch break. How about that? But no, the 22nd is it's I might do that. 11 a.m. is perfect actually.
I might rock with you on that. Okay. That was this week. Next week, let's do some headlines real quick, dude. Actually, no. I'm sorry. One more for this week. Next week. Also coming out next week is a movie called Swan Song that we talked about like a while ago, like a couple years ago on the podcast. But it's with Mahershala Ali, who of course is going to be the new Blade in the MCU. This movie looks really fucking dope. It's basically like a guy's dying, and so they basically essentially like clone him, and he doesn't tell his family. And so basically he does that so that the other him can continue on like as him without his family like being aware.
Got it. Okay.
Really interesting fucking premise. And I watched the trailer earlier today. It looks fucking dope, dude.
Listen, I don't doubt anything that Mahershala Ali, and I'm saying, am I saying it wrong or right?
I believe it's Mahershala. I'm probably getting nervous.
No, you're right. It's Maher. So her, then Shala.
I gotta see him pronounce it.
Was that?
I gotta see him pronounce it because who knows what H's
I've been saying
silent.
Mahershala, so I've been pronouncing it like
it might be. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Mahershala. I think it's. How do you say John Mayer? We're spending way too much time. Listen, he's got to clear this shit up. Okay. Who else has a weird name like that?
I mean, I do.
Yeah, you do.
You know, so funny. I was watching, and I think somebody actually even told me about this, but I was watching King Richard, and somebody in the movies called, I think it's Yetunde, or I forget exactly what the name was, but it's got like my part of the name, like there's you can always put like something else in front of, like my full name is Baba Tunde. Other people put other shit in front of it. So they were saying one of the Richard's daughters has my Tunde name, but they kept pronouncing it Tundi. Tundi. And I was just like,
that's not it.
I mean, y'all couldn't have talked to anybody. Like, yeah. But then the thought did cross my mind that, oh, well, that's probably the way that they pronounce it. Like,
Sure,
and
yeah.
their family. And so I'm not gonna go up to them and be like, "You're fucking wrong with the way you pronounce."
Don't
Like,
fucking
shout
call
out to Nadia.
don't call your kid that.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Like,
Who you birthed and
what?
raised.
Shout out to Nadia because she would always correct me for Khalid, right? We grew up Khalid, and she'd always, whenever I would mention him around her, she'd be like, "It's Khalid." And I was like, that is not the way he says it. Okay,
Yeah.
It's his name,
DJ Khaled. I'm not doing that either.
No, I'm fine with the way that she's pronouncing. What I'm saying is, I'm going with the way he pronounces his name. So if you're gonna walk up to him and tell him that he's pronouncing his name wrong his entire life, feel free. I won't be that person. Okay?
Yeah, I'm going with the path of least resistance.
Yeah,
It's the easiest way. But like, so your name, and we're gonna spend like 30 more seconds on this. Your name is intimidating to like at first glance, but then as soon as you like enunciate it, super simple.
You would think.
Which I feel like my name is the same way, but people still have trouble with it. I feel like people hear you pronounce it and then they like fuck it up in their head and then regurgitate
I'm not gonna lie
it.
to you. Whenever I'm meeting somebody new, and they tell me their name, even if it's like Joe, for one, immediately forget it. Two, if it's an uncommon name, what'll happen is I will tell myself 8 different ways that they just said it to me and forget which one was the actual fucking one that they said to me, right?
Yeah.
So they'll be like, my name is Traquan, and I'll be like, he said Trey Quinn?
Trey Pound? Like,
Yeah.
you got a gun on you?
Yeah, and my brain will be like, I don't know which one of these, just dab them up.
So like for me, because I like, I have a unique name, like it's always important for me to be like, all right, your name is this, and like, all right, how do I say it? And I'll repeat it back to them like once or twice. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, like, yeah, nigga, that's my name. But like, because I want to make sure I get it right. You know what I mean? But again, I feel like yours is one of those ones where it's like Baba Tunde. And then it should be easy. My name's Rain. It should be easy, but people are just like, they hear it and they're like, it's very like a straight line, right, in one ear, but then in their head, it just like gets all jumbled up and then comes out something else.
Yeah,
anyway.
I don't think at any point in my life I've ever gotten mad at somebody for like getting my name. It's only when I think they were like purposefully doing it, where it's like, okay, this is, you have intent on your side where you're trying to fuck it up to like be funny. But I've literally never gotten mad at somebody for mispronouncing my name. In fact, I just can't wait to get past the part where I have to fucking explain it like 1,000 times. So I'm like, if you don't get it the first time, cool.
That's why I just say call me O.
Yeah.
That's it.
But yeah, moving on to headlines. Hassan Minaj, man, shout out to Hassan, man. I cherished the Patriot Act that he had on Netflix, and they just fucking canceled it because it's Netflix, so they value nothing. They just everybody is you know what, and that's good. You know, at least they're equal opportunists. Cancelers, unless it, I guess, this is the Stranger Things, which
they'll give everybody a chance.
Yeah, but
I'll give them
cancel you.
Did they cancel Stranger Things?
They'll probably will at some point. This is probably going to be the last season.
It's been like eight. They
need to go ahead and
years since the last season.
Yeah. We're gonna watch them fucking go through college. Like, it's gonna be fucking Stranger Things.
They're gonna be like
college years. Ugh.
Yeah, they're gonna be like
Saved by the Bell.
They're gonna have. I feel like someone's gonna have a kid by the time like they release. They're gonna be parents.
Yeah. So, anyways, Hassan Minaj, who used to have the Patriot Act on Netflix, now he started his own production company. It's called, I believe, Hold on, let me open the article real quick. Launches his own production company called 186K Films. And the first film that they'll be doing is called For the Culture. So, yeah. Shout out to Hassan. I just wanted to highlight that real quick because he doesn't get enough credit for the shit that he does, man. He's a great content producer, and I feel like he did get a raw deal with the Patriot Act because it was like basically the Daily Show, but for a new generation. I feel like the Daily Show, its time is kind of coming past, right?
Yeah.
And it was for a particular generation. The Patriot Act, I felt like, spoke to our generation, where it's just like, okay. Like,
yeah,
this is
it took for me like the Netflix series Explained, right? Mm-hmm. It took like that type of approach, but like with like kind of like live, real human commentary, right? It's like Explained explains a thing from sometimes from a very technical but digestible standpoint.
Yeah.
Hassan Minaj added like personality to it.
He did.
Commentary.
That we all fuck with.
He
like
explained
he was
it.
about the culture.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I remember he did an entire fucking episode on what clothing brand was it?
I think it was Supreme.
Supreme. Yeah. You know, that's fucking like, who else is going to do that?
Yeah.
Like nobody.
Nobody else.
So anyways, so shout out to Hassan Minaj, man.
I love to, if you've got a production company, here's why I love production companies. You can name them anything and it doesn't fucking matter as long as you produce good content.
Yeah.
But I do love to hear about like the name, the reason why you go with the name. So I got to do a little bit of research.
Out of like $186,000 from like some deal or some shit like that.
Maybe,
I bet. But I ain't
or
gonna
like,
say nothing.
or maybe like that was like, his investor, whoever the team of people is behind 86K Productions,
or
maybe like
186K.
186K. So it's like what?
186K.
186K. Yeah. So maybe that's like all of the money that like they collectively had to like bring this thing to life, right? Like to start this thing. If that's it, then cool story. You know what I mean? But I just love to hear like the names behind those. Like The Rock's production company is called like $7 Productions, right? And that's how much he apparently had like when he
checking account or
when he like got after his like football injury and things didn't work out in football, like that was all he had to his name.
He was like living in a trailer for a while or something like that. So on to another story. Roku and Google have finally kissed and made up. So apparently, because I don't know if everybody remembers, but I think Roku and YouTube had like this fucking really contentious relationship where I think Roku just booted the YouTube shit off of their platform. I think that, I don't know how long that lasted. I think that was back in maybe like April or some shit. But they've kissed and made up, and they signed basically like a long-term deal to basically bring YouTube and I guess YouTube TV back to Roku. Yeah, dude. Look, we're in a very disastrous time when it comes to streaming, right? In terms of just like, there's just too much of this shit. We're oversaturating the market right now, right? So it's like, yo, you got to find your partnerships and you got to make them shits work. We just saw Marvel make up with Sony, right? They patched it. They're like, fuck, these Spider-Man
let's get this
movies,
Spider-Man money. Fuck is we doing?
Let's get the fucking
let's corner the block. You sell over there. I'm selling over here.
Yeah.
It's like a Ghost and Tommy relationship. It's like, like
we hate each other.
Sometimes sometimes I knew I tried to kill you last week, but we've got to distribute this for Lobos.
Yeah, honestly, watching that relationship play out over, I guess, the 7 years of power was pretty stupid, because like literally that's exactly how it would be. Tommy would try to kill Ghost in one episode, Ghost would try to kill Tommy in the next, and by the third episode they're working together. So
you know
stupid.
why? Because no matter what, don't fuck up the money, and that's what Ghost and Tommy taught us. Never fuck up the money.
Well, fair enough. I guess maybe Roku and Google started watching Power apparently. But yeah, what's really interesting about this, man, is that a lot of these streaming platforms, because you have the places like Roku, right, which basically house all of these streaming platforms. Then you have the actual streaming platforms themselves, right, that produce either produce content or what do you call it? Not rebrand. Why the fuck is that the word coming? Resyndicate or syndicate.
You mean like where they take like a nationally syndicated show like Friends or something like that?
Yeah, they'll take a show. Whatever.
I guess it's license it, right?
If they're not the ones who created it, right? Like, so NBC has Friends and The Office, or do they even have Friends? They might just have The Office. I don't know if they actually have Friends. But they created Friends and now they got it back on their platform, right?
Yeah.
But what I want to see is something like a Roku, right, which you have to pay for on your own. And anybody can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but you can have it on your own, or have it on its own, right, where you can you pay for it, and basically you have to pay for all the other shit, right? So you still got to pay for YouTube TV, you still got to pay for Netflix, you still got to pay for HBO Max, yada yada yada. What I want to see is for you just to pay Roku and then have them, pay a flat fee of like $60 to Roku and then have them pay all the other fucking, platforms, right? Which is just cable. Like that's all we're fucking talking. We're coming full circle with this shit.
Let's find a way to like bring everything in house, kind of, right? Like it is kind of frustrating, you gotta pay for Hulu and Netflix and Amazon, all of this shit. I wish, to your point, it was just one hub, and Roku could be that hub. I think Roku's considered what? Roku is a platform, but it's a streaming service in and of itself, right? Mm. What are they considered? Really a streaming
service. It's just, and I forget the actual word. It's like, fuck. I forget. It's like an over the top service where basically they house all the it's like Sling, right? Sling doesn't actually make content on its own. Sling houses all the other streaming platforms that you end up paying for, right? And so what I really do want to see, like Amazon Fire Stick, right? That's another one that you can,
which, like, do they even still have that?
Dude, I don't fucking. I said it without any confidence at all that it was actually still a thing.
Because I have no idea. What do they do now? Because I guess what is the point of the Fire Stick at this point? If you have Amazon, now granted, I mean, what is the point of the Roku plug-in in the back of your TV if you can get just like a TV with Roku?
If you have the TV with Roku, if you don't like, so for instance, if you haven't upgraded your TV in the past 5-6 years, which. There are a lot of people because they're building the TVs better. So like we're all on that generation of TV where it's just like, oh, this is good enough. I don't think I need all that extra shit. Like it'd be great if I turn on my TV and it made a coffee for me, but still I don't think I really need that right now.
You know what's funny though? Like so my mom bought a new TV last week. I went over she wanted it like wall mounted, so I mounted it on the wall for her. Yeah. And behind the TV was a Roku thing, right? Mm-hmm. And even though I bought it for her a few years ago, I looked at it as if I've never seen it before. I threw it across the room. Like, what the fuck is this? What are you doing? Get out of the way. Get this shit out of here. But
I'm guessing she has a smart. Is it smart TV?
She bought a Roku TV, so it has all the shit built in. Yo, crazy. So I'm setting up the TV for her, right? Mm. And I go over. She's like, log into all the things for me because I don't know how to do it, right?
Natural.
So
shout out to moms who don't know how to.
and you know what? I feel like they know. They're just like, you do it.
No, that's exactly what it is. Or no, it's that they sort of know. Like if they really just work with it for like 3 minutes, they figure it out. They're like, no.
Yeah, I mean, my mom was just like,
I gave birth to you. Like
she's like, email address, password. I don't know what this stuff means. But mom, you do this all the time. Like, why are you? So anyway, I did it for her. But here's the cool part. So I went to Hulu, and I guess because we were hooked up, the wireless network was already connected to all the other devices. So I went to Hulu. It already had my shit. I'm like, yo, this is very convenient, but also still very scary.
It's alarming.
How much do you know about
if I'm
me?
just walking by, do you just log my shit? Yo, that happened at I was at an Airbnb, and I was trying to so ironically enough, it was my mom too who was trying to fucking watch. I don't know what the fuck she was trying to. Something on YouTube, right? But we couldn't get into
Family
YouTube. It's something silly. And I was able to sign in through basically that same thing where it's just like connected to the Wi-Fi, and then it found me and it's like, all right, great. And then we left, and like a week later, I was like, did I ever log out of that bitch? Mm. Is somebody watching fucking YouTube
at
TV
the Airbnb or something
on me? Yeah, I was like, how do I even sign out of that bitch?
I'm contacting Airbnb like, yo, I need to know the last 4 people who stayed there so I can send them invoices.
Charge them all. But anyways, man, it's good to see you, Google and Roku kiss and make up here. I would like to see this kissing and making up of a lot of different platforms. Because again, I just want one fucking platform to carry everything. And that way I don't look at my fucking, account every month cross-eyed. Like, I don't know what the fuck is actually happening. Like, fuck, I still have that?
Way too much shit hitting the account.
For sure. Last but not least, Shang-Chi is getting a sequel.
Why? Like,
No, shut up. We know why. Come on. Look. I didn't necessarily care for Shang-Chi. It was all right. It was okay. I'm not gonna lie. Like it wasn't anything that blew me away, but it also wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen Marvel make. We knew it was going to get a sequel. Like, what was it not going to? Are you your first all Asian cast? I think even there was even an Asian director. If I might be getting it wrong too, but you're telling me you're not going to come out with a sequel for that? Do you know what the backlash would be from fucking the east side of the world? You know, like what the fuck are you guys doing? Yeah. So you give you make a sequel after Iron Man 2, which was an abysmal film, and yet no Shang-Chi 2.
I don't know, man. Iron Man 2 was great. I know you disagree, but I think Iron Man 2 was great.
Till the end of time, we will disagree.
But so here's the thing, though. Yeah. Iron Man 1, great. Iron Man 2, I think, was great. It's like, you understand why they made Iron Man 2 off of the success of Iron Man 1.
That's why I said 3. You made a sequel to 2.
Well, I mean, I think Iron Man 2 was even. Was it better? You know what? Yeah, no, Iron Man 2 was.
For argument's sake, you thought let's say for argument's sake, it was a bad movie, right? Mm-hmm. Of course, they're going to give us a fucking sequel. Like, there's not one. Is there any Marvel movie at this point
that doesn't have a sequel?
Make a sequel?
I mean, are they going to make a Black Widow too? I don't think so.
Well, okay, but that was a special case where she's kind of dead. So
yeah, that is true.
It's kind of hard to keep that. And also, they actually might, because they might just throw her sister in there.
True. Who have you started watching Hawkeye?
Stop. If you're going to talk about it in today's episode, I'm not there yet.
You haven't seen anything?
No, I've seen the first 3 episodes. I haven't seen
yeah, me too. I haven't seen like episode 4. All right. Yeah. I was just wondering if you started it. But yeah, hold up. Now I got to figure this out. Has there been a Marvel movie where they've not made a sequel? Think really quickly.
I mean, I think you're right with that.
Well, they are coming out with Captain Marvel 2. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Damn, which if I could choose right now, if I could talk to Kevin Feige and say cancel one of these, you know what? To be honest, it'd be cancel.
Kevin
Feige. Yeah. I'd probably ask him to cancel Captain Marvel 2. I think Shang-Chi was better than Captain Marvel.
That's a hard one. I don't know. No, I don't. The only reason why I can't say that is because I kind of felt the same thing about both of them. I had the same feeling about both of them, which is, again, cool. What else you got for me?
Yeah,
was the feeling that I ended up with both of them. It's like I didn't really particularly hate anything in it, but I also didn't love anything in it. You know what I mean? And that's how I felt about Shang-Chi. I didn't hate anything in it. I just didn't. It was like, eh.
You know what both movies feel like now that I think about it? They just felt like rushed. There was like a lot of like incomplete storytelling.
You know, it felt like and maybe I'm speaking more of the Captain Marvel in this case, but it really did feel like Captain Marvel, they played it way too safe with Captain Marvel. They didn't it didn't feel like they took any risk with Captain Marvel. It seemed like they had a very simple story set up, and sometimes when you have a simple story, like so for instance, Tron Legacy. Simple fucking story. I guess as simple as Tron can get, but but it's a basic story, right? Kid, his dad goes away. He goes and finds his dad. They
in a video game, yeah.
We're done.
But they imagined the fuck out of it. I mean, I'll give them that.
But they, even though it was simple, they did some cool shit in it.
How do we do simple in like the coolest fucking way possible?
Exactly.
And right? I really don't know why that movie gets so much shit. I loved it.
No, it's one of those movies that I think gets a bad rap because for one, it's got a very dedicated or it's got very dedicated fans. The original Tron movie had very dedicated fans, and this one was a pretty deep departure from what they originally did. Although they had a bunch of like throwbacks in Tron Legacy, but also I think it's a case where I think it didn't do as well in the box office as everybody was hoping that would do. And whenever that happens, I don't know what the fuck's going on out there.
The motherfuckers were racing down this very small side
street.
Speed
out there. It's very narrow too. I don't know why.
Super narrow.
I mean, what if somebody just walks out? You're missing a leg.
Or a cat. There are like 12 cats down there.
Yeah. But I too have a deep love for Tron Legacy. In fact, I want to go watch Tron Uprising, which is I think the animated series that is followed Tron. I never watched it.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah. But anyways, getting back to Shang-Chi and Captain Marvel, I don't think that they took any risk, but in not taking any risk, they also didn't do anything terribly exciting with the simplistic story that they told. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing, to me, there was nothing memorable about Shang-Chi or Captain Marvel that I'm like, oh my God, that's going to stick with me after this is over.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing like the deal with the rings. That was kind of cool, but okay.
Yeah, and like right. To be honest, you know, it's funny. Even in Hawkeye, they kind of like just lightly touched on like the things in Shang-Chi, right? Remember the little girl was like, you know, are dragons real? And then she was like, you know, and then I think the dad was like, and this is the girl who has like one leg, right? The dad was like, you know, dragons are real, but they live in like another world or dimension, which is a reference to Shang-Chi. And then they were like, yeah, we're gonna quickly move on from that. We referenced it, we'll quickly move on.
Well, I think they were all shot like they were all shot like a year ago. This is like we're watching Hawkeye, but Hawkeye has been done for like 2 years. Yeah, and Shang-Chi was also done like so what I'm trying to say is I don't think they're looking at it like, and I don't think that's how Marvel operates. I don't think Marvel gives a fuck about what anybody thinks about it. It's like at this point they're like, we don't care. We're going to continue making this shit regardless of if you like it or not.
It's like one of those things where you're like too big to fail.
Yeah, they're literally too big to fail. The only time that I think, you know, Marvel's going to change anything up is like a decade from now, when like say it's really apparent that people aren't coming back to the theaters, which is why I think they did all these fucking shows, right? They've done like 20 shows and like 3 movies in like the past like 2 years. And I think it's because they're starting to see the changing of the tide a little bit when it comes to how people consume content, you know?
Yeah.
But anyways, we're getting very far from where it started. Shang-Chi is getting a sequel, and that is, to me, that's I didn't hate Shang-Chi, so I'm like, good. Let me see what else you got for me. You know?
Yeah, I didn't hate it either. I think, you know, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah.
I hope they seize the opportunity and just better storytelling. That's all I need.
For sure. A shout out to Coffee After 5. They say, yes, Fire Stick is still a thing. Roku devices function better than Fire Stick. Apple and Chromecast combined. And then Apple, okay, correcting yourself, Apple TV. Shout out to Addy. Wish you could have been in the studio today, but we know you got shit you got to do, man. We ain't mad at you. But yeah, man. Yeah. I'm just gonna stick with cable. For now, I'm just gonna stick with.
I don't have cable. I just, you know, if it's
not. But that's what I'm saying. Is for the longest time, for like the last year, I've been, should I just cut it? Should I just do it? And I've been like really tempted to. But like at this point now, I'm kind of like, I think I would just find my way back here anyways. Like with all the shit that I would have to get, plus the most expensive part of my bill right now is my internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the internet service providers, they've already figured out like, oh yeah. And you know what I fucking discovered is that, so for instance, I thought I could outsmart the game. So for my phone, I have an unlimited plan, right? So I was like, okay, well here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get one of those little adapters for your phone so you can hook up an HDMI cord to it, right? And I could just play shit from my phone onto my screens that I got here. And just so I don't eat up all my fucking, because they have a cap for how much data you can have. But what I realized is they are smart, because they said, oh, nah, sorry, that doesn't work with Netflix. It doesn't work with Hulu. It doesn't work with. So all these other things that it doesn't fucking work with. The reason why is because they know that you're having to use up basically all that fucking data. So they have like, and this is for Xfinity, or I guess Comcast, they have a cap of 1,000 gigabytes.
Yeah.
That you can use on any given month.
And if you're streaming a whole show, you're going to use up way more than that.
Easy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it used to be that I used to use like maybe like 300 gigabytes, per month, 400 maybe if I was just, spazzing. But now if I'm just streaming shit like all day, which is what I do, everybody, like I work from home, you know what I mean? And so I usually have something up on the TV. And the only way I can do that is if I stream it, you know what I mean? And even if I watch the regular TV, if I want to watch something on Hulu or whatever, all that is taking up internet.
Yeah.
So there's like literally no way to get away from.
Oh yeah, they've thought of this shit.
To use. So it's like even if I do get rid of cable, the fuck does it matter anyways? I'm still going to be fucking in the hole to them for like 80-90% of what I'm already paying to them.
Yeah, they're smart. Yeah. They increase the price of your wireless internet, right? Or like your device, right? Your mobile service, and they decrease the cost of cable television, right? And they make it so that like the cost of keeping it in your mind is less than the cost of like dropping it, right? So it's like, oh, my phone is like $79 a month, and or my Wi-Fi service is this much, and my phone is $49 a month or whatever, and the cable, that's only like $19.99 extra on my bill. So it's like, fuck it, I'll just keep that extra thing. And they're just like, gotcha. And then when you got like 40 million people subscribed to your network, that extra, that small amount of money a month that you may like overlook, to them, that's billions in revenue.
Well, but they're smart, because everybody has to, like, even if I was to stop at the cable, doesn't fucking matter to them, right? If I did, so what? I'm still going to use them because I can only use them for the internet, right? I don't have any. I think in this era, they literally don't have any other providers that I can sign up with, so they have no competition. Yeah, and so it's like I can't go anywhere else for internet. Basically, I would still try to watch the same shit, so I'm going to get YouTube TV, Sling, whatever, right? I'm going to have to use the internet for that, so it's like it doesn't. Then they're like, whatever, you're still gonna be paying us, so cut the cable, don't cut the cable, we don't give a fuck,
And they're even smarter than that, though, and then we can move on from this. So like, if you've ever tried to cancel like cable or something,
bro,
so
it's so bad,
brilliant. So they they intentionally hire college dropout convicts that have who've been exposed to lead and asbestos for and they hired those people specifically to run the cancellation department. So when you call in, the cost of the time spent calling in to cancel it, it's like, fuck it, I'll keep it. I just don't want to talk to you anymore. I'll keep it.
You want to know how bad it is? Try looking up your bill. Just something as simple as to understand what your bill is. You have to go through 8,000 different fucking tabs and clicks, and okay, I gotta go here now. I just want to know what the fuck I'm paying you guys. That's all I want to know is the line item for what the fuck I'm paying you guys, and it's like impossible just to do that in like it's.
I feel like they're like, the bill. You want to see the bill?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
For what? What do you need that for? Are you paying the bill?
Yeah.
You sure? You need
What's your password? And you put in the password. They're like, nope, 2-step authentication. And you authenticate the shit, and they're like, we're gonna send you a text to make sure that's you.
Yo, do you know your mom's maiden name? He's like, that's not my security question. He's like, I just want to see if you knew it. Like,
who's your mom's first boyfriend in high school? Like, nigga, I didn't set the security question. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyways, moving the fuck on. We've got to move on to our first trailer here. Oh shit, man. Oh my god. Yo, dude, this trailer dropped. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna sit here for
yeah, you watched it, right?
I did watch it already. I'm not gonna sit here.
It's like cheating.
Fair enough.
Yes, it's the same as infidelity.
Well, fair enough. I'm a cheater then. But we do have a synopsis for The Matrix, which we haven't really gotten one before. But I think this synopsis doesn't really give anything away. Hold on one second. Oh god, my neck, my back, and my back. So 20 years, and we're gonna do the reaction to the second Matrix Resurrections trailer. 20 years after the events of the Matrix Revolutions, Neo lives a seemingly ordinary life under his original identity as as Thomas A. Anderson in San Francisco, with a therapist who prescribes him blue pills to counteract the strange and unnatural things he occasionally glimpses. He also meets a woman who appears to be Trinity, but neither of them recognize each other. However, when a new version of Morpheus offers him the red pill and reopens his mind to the world of the Matrix, which has become more secure and dangerous in the year since the Smith infection, Neo joins with a group of rebels to fight against a new enemy. That's more shit than I've gotten in like 4 trailers with the Matrix Resurrections. I still don't think that's giving away anything. I still don't think we know what the fuck is actually going on.
We don't fucking know what's going on.
This is, of course, directed by Lana Wachowski, written by Wachowski, as well as David Mitchell, Alexander Hemon, I believe. That's how you pronounce it. Starring, of course, Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, and Jessica Henwick, among others. This is due out December 22nd of this here year of our Lord. I am fucking ready to see this again. I need to get my glasses on. That's how fucking ready I am.
Is it the year of our Lord? What?
I just say that. I just assume every year is the year of our Lord. Isn't that the thing?
Maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Seems selfish.
I just said
she's taken every year.
There are so many jokes I could make off that, but I'm steering clear. Let's watch the fucking Matrix.
We can't see it, but we're all trapped inside these strange repeating loops.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious.
But this is the moment for you to show us what is real. I remember this.
So deja vu. And yet it's obviously all wrong. Maybe this isn't the story we think it is.
They taught you good. Made you believe their world was all you deserved. But some part of you knew that was a lie. Some part of you remembered what was real.
It's so easy to forget how much noise the Matrix pumps into your head. Something else makes the same kind of noise. War. What happens to Neo? The most important choice in Neo's life. It's not his to make.
She believed in me. It's my turn to believe in her.
Part of me feels like I have been waiting my whole life for you.
If you want to see Trinity again, fight for her!
I saw this in a dream. My dream ended here.
We still know Kung Fu.
That's all I needed.
Yo, here's the thing. I'm sorry, just making sure the stream still up because apparently they didn't like us playing a trailer.
Ooh.
But anyways, here's the thing. What I love about this whole campaign, right? This whole marketing campaign is that they didn't reveal really anything in terms of like, I think what the twists and turns are in the story, because we're all just as confused as when we first heard that there was going to be a new Matrix, right? We see flashes and images of things and we're like, wait, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what does that even mean in the context? Like, we see him watching the Matrix on a screen and we're like, wait, what? So you're watching the Matrix within the Matrix?
Yeah.
Okay. We see Trinity come back in Matrix Revolutions. Trinity was dead. Not dead as in like, maybe she's still alive. No. She was dead, right? So now we're not only going to get Trinity back in the Matrix, but we're also going to get her back in the real world, as we saw with, she was like in a pod or some shit. Right?
Yeah.
Along opposite Neo, right? Fire trailer, my dude. Fire trailer. I'm gonna let you go real quick, and then I'll finish.
No, I mean, great trailer. It showed me just enough to kind of like reinforce what I thought I already knew, what I know that I don't know, and what I want to like see, right? Like, I know that like watching this trailer, I don't fully understand exactly the story that's going to be told, but like I'm all the more
and they
intrigued,
literally
right?
actually just tell you that, like,
yeah,
maybe this isn't the story we thought we
exactly.
we knew, yeah.
I love that part. One of the lines that stood out to me was, you know, when Neo's talking to, I guess, who is now like the next Oracle or something along those lines.
He was talking to, I didn't recognize her at first myself. That was Niobe. That was Jada Pinkett.
Really?
Yeah, with the he was like an older woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Jada Pinkett Smith. Yeah.
Okay.
As Niobe.
And in talking to Niobe, Niobe says, you know, basically like, she fought for you. Now it's time for you to fight for her, right? So that.
So and I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure Yahya Abdul-Mateen II said that as Morpheus.
Okay, somebody said it.
Yeah, fair enough.
And what I love about that is like the sentiment behind it, right? Like in the first three movies, we saw Trinity risking her life, which she ultimately did, fighting for the cause, fighting for Neo's cause, right? You're the one here sent to save the Matrix. Now, what I feel like I understand about this is, you know, maybe they've both been trapped somewhere. Now he has to go and fight for her, right? And maybe not like rescue her, just fight for her to make her way out of the Matrix or whatever it might be. But that still doesn't really tell us anything about the storyline in the movie. We just know that like the thing between them is still very much alive, is still very much real. And like whatever happens between them two, we know that when Neo and Trinity get together, we saw what happened in the lobby.
Shit popping.
We saw what happened in the lobby when they get together.
Down.
Yeah. Oh my. Still one of the greatest movie scenes of all time. That lobby intro.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Look, there's so many different directions that they could go with this, and I don't think we know. Like I really do feel like so if you think back to some of the earlier, so the first Matrix, second and third Matrix, even from the trailers that we got from them, we never really got what the true plots of the movie were, right? So if you think back to the first Matrix, where basically they were like, basically what is the Matrix was like the whole thing, right? Then basically with the second Matrix, the whole marketing campaign was basically the Matrix Reloaded, right? We're just re-upping, we're doubling down. But really what that was like, we're in the movie Matrix Reloaded, it was like, yeah, the Matrix isn't at all what the fuck you think it is. You may think you're fighting to save Zion, and I was like, nah, not really. Zion's just actually another kind of creation of ours. And Revolution's basically just breaking away that dream of, you know, there being some sort of like there wasn't, it was always basically in their plan to have this sort of happen, and it may not have happened exactly the way the computers wanted it, but that reality still isn't shattered, right? In this movie, I think even though we're getting all these images and things, I still don't think we know even half of exactly what the fuck is actually going on here.
Yeah.
And here's I'm not gonna make like a wild prediction about the movie, but what I am gonna say is I felt the same way about this movie that I did Cowboy Bebop. What do I mean by that? I remember watching the trailer for Cowboy Bebop, the live action, and I was like, ooh, this might not be too good. Like, just from the whole, how the trailers just went off, I was just like, I don't know if this is going to be that great. I'm not saying that this doesn't, incredible first 2 trailers. In fact, I think the only 2 trailers. I hope we're not going to get anything more than this.
Yeah, I feel like they've already given me enough.
And we get it, not next week, but the week after, right? We're good. We don't need any more, right? And also, their marketing where I think it was the Matrix Awakens, which is like some sort of game, but it has like a fucking Unreal Engine version of Keanu, where it's like not Keanu, but it looks like if somebody didn't say that wasn't Keanu, I would never be able to predict that wasn't Keanu Reeves. But apparently, I don't know. It looks wild as shit. But where the fuck was I even going with that? Oh, Cowboy Bebop. In watching the trailer, the one thing that has me questioning anything about this movie is Morpheus. I feel like he's the key to it all. Mm-hmm. But also, he looks like the most sort of like, not comical, but like
you're not sold on him.
I'm not sold on him. And I don't know if that maybe is intentional. Maybe that plays into the story. But whatever they're doing with him as Morpheus, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, something's askew here. This isn't. They should have just called back Lawrence Fisher. And if it's just a straight up story of like, oh, like he's Morpheus and now he believes in Neo, and you could have just called up Fishburne and just.
Do you think he might be like pretending to be Morpheus, or he is Morpheus but just a different?
I think
version?
There's something because if he's a different quote unquote version of Morpheus, well, that's insane because Morpheus is a fucking human. Like, what does that even mean to be another version of Morpheus? Another Neo, okay, because apparently they bestow like the powers of the one onto somebody at some point in time. So okay, I can kind of get that, but you could just create another Morpheus just to create a fucking another. And notice we never saw Morpheus in the real world, quote unquote, right? All we saw was Jessica Henwick's character. As well as like a couple other characters, but we don't see Morpheus.
Yeah, so you feel like there might be something behind that character.
Something going on there, but it's the reason why I'm like, I hope that whatever they got going on for Morpheus, I hope that's good, because to me that's what the strength of the movie is going to, or that's what the fate of the movie is going to rely on. That's going to determine how good the movie is if they make it something like cartoonish or something that's kind of like silly or. It's gonna. I don't think it's gonna ruin it for me, but it's gonna be like shit.
Yeah, I trust them. I'm gonna lean on the side of faith here and trust that they know what the fuck they're doing. I hope that this trailer for me was enough. I hope they don't do anything silly like drop another trailer between now and the 22nd. But we're in. I feel like we've waited long enough, and once we get the thing, it'll have been worth the wait.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait. Yo, if you're serious about going to go see it during the day, because what that means is we can then come back at night and then chop it up about it.
I'm gonna double check my schedule, but my Wednesday next week it's wide open.
Yeah, let's make that shit happen.
I might just time block
2 hours.
Like during these 3 hours, I'm gonna have my head down working. Please respect my time.
That's too funny. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the Matrix. So let's talk about another trailer here. So we got another trailer here. One that I wasn't really expecting, to be perfectly honest. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1. So this follows Miles Morales as Spider-Man, who goes on an adventure across the multiverse with Gwen Stacy, who of course is Spider-Woman, and Miguel O'Hara, who is Spider-Man 2029, and a new team of Spider people to face a powerful villain. This is directed by Joaquim Dos Santos, Kemp Powers, Justin K. Thompson, written by Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, Dave Callahan, and stars Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaac, and Issa Rae. And this is due out October 7th of 2022. Did you watch the first?
Yeah,
Into the
of course.
Spider-Man Spider-Verse. Yeah, a lot of people are saying it's probably the best Spider-Man movie to date.
I think on Rotten Tomatoes it is the highest rated, and then Spider-Man 2 featuring Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, I feel like that's the correct order.
Yeah, I would say so.
I don't think
I have no problem with that.
I don't think the Andrew Garfield movies. I didn't really hate them as much as everybody else did. I don't know why everybody hates them so much. It's like one of those things like Tron, where it's just like
I completely
don't
forgot
know.
they made those.
No, if you want to say they're forgettable, fair enough. They're bad. I don't think they were bad.
But is anything good forgettable?
Sure. There's good movies all the time that you're like, oh shit, I forgot about that movie. It's a good movie. Didn't remember it at all.
No, but see, those movies, you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, but I liked it. The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, you're like, oh, I forgot about that because I chose to. I chose to suppress those memories. And now you're bringing up early childhood trauma.
I didn't think that they were that bad, okay? Like they weren't the best thing ever, but to me they weren't as bad as everybody seems to. I feel like in retrospect, every shit either gets better or worse with time, right? So there's some movies that everybody panned when it first came out, but then time goes on and they're like, holy shit, this is actually really fucking good, right? And then there's other movies that were good at the time, and then 20 years later was like, yo, that was complete shit. I don't know what the fuck we were thinking on that one. And it feels like that's what everybody feels about the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
I personally don't know why. I thought they were perfectly serviceable. Not great, but serviceable. But yeah.
The only thing I compare it to, like, the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies, it was like imitation crab meat. You know, it's edible. Like, but like, is that what I want? No.
Fair enough. Let's take a gander here at the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 trailer.
Let's do it.
All right.
Soundtrack gonna be fire.
She was a bad bad, nevertheless. Calling it quits now, baby, I'm a wreck. Crash at my place, baby, you're a wreck. Every time I'm leaving on you, you don't make it easy, no. Wish I could be there for you.
Miles! You got a minute?
Oh! What? Whoa, Gwen? How did you get... How have you been?
It's a long story. Is this the room you grew up in?
It is. But my dorm room is very adult.
Right. No, of course.
Hey!
Are these your drawings?
What? No,
Oh,
no.
they're good. I missed you too.
Okay. So, what are you doing here? I mean, I thought I'd never see you again.
Want to get out of here?
I'm grounded.
Bummer.
What?
Is Spider-Man grounded?
I mean, I
Bad influence.
Damn. We have to wait until October 7th?
Yeah, no, we're so spoiled these days that we're used to like seeing the trailer for a movie and then like next week it comes out, right?
Yeah,
Like,
on streaming too.
yeah.
Yo. That's big time from now. We don't know
Yeah,
what
I was
could
actually
happen.
surprised when I saw that date because I was like, yeah, they better come out with 18 trailers between now and then because I'm immediately going to forget this shit's coming out.
Damn.
Yeah. What'd you think about the trailer?
I'm fantastic.
Yeah,
You know,
like
it's not nothing. No one did it. No one made a single mistake on this trailer. I feel like everyone had in their work on time. Meetings were short. Everyone showed up to the meetings early. Everything went smoothly. People came in early, stayed late. They worked really fucking hard to put together a great trailer, and that's exactly what we got.
Hey, Addy, which one are you talking about? Are you talking about The Matrix, or are you talking about the Spider-Man? Addy put in the other comments, weak trailer with terrible audio design. I'm going to guess maybe you're talking about Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or Across the Spider-Verse, or whatever. Because you got a little fuzzy there when we started doing all the fucking traveling and shit, and it was just.
And I think that's what what was intended. They're traveling through multiple, look like different like universes, multiverse.
That
like
shit was hard, dude.
Yeah,
and then fucking Spider-Man 2099, fucking yoking them up, and then it's like a different universe. It was fucking hard.
I feel like it's supposed to be a little bit spotty. When you're time traveling, you're like interdimensionally traveling or whatever. I wasn't put off by any of that. Yeah, exactly. Your fucking Verizon Fios does not work there. No, but I thought it was really well done. I liked it. Like, it kind of just gave you enough like stimuli to like be like really, really intrigued.
Miles is a little older now. Now he's in college. You know, Stacy's a little older now, because I think she was a little younger when we watched. I got to go back and watch Spider-Man.
Yeah. They were like in their like freshman, sophomore year. It looks like they're it looks like they're a little bit older. Yeah, he's clearly in college. She's grown up a little bit too. Yeah, he's not going to catch a statutory. So, hopefully he busts it down at least by part 2.
Jesus Christ. I think what I'm looking forward to, man, is just seeing all the neat and different things. I got to go back and study up on like what Spider-Man universe that they were traveling through, in the trailer. Because it looked like it was like some very specific things, and I'm not obviously that familiar with Spider-Man to know exactly what that was. But I'm hoping, what I'm hoping is that we just get a lot of like wild shit. Like what I'm hoping for one is that we see Miles Morales in No Way Home, Spider-Man No Way Home, because it's just like it just is dull, right? We've got one universe hopping fucking Spider-Man, another universe hopping Spider. Let's just get everybody together, have a fucking party, or
at least like a reference.
They have to do something. They can't not do nothing, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's just too stupid, right?
I remember
you're printing money if you do that,
yeah.
right? If you fucking just have them link up real quick, you know what I mean?
Do you remember in the Spider-Man trailer, the one we got before, the most recent one?
Yeah.
You see the scene where like Dr. Octopus is like, he has Spider-Man pinned upside down against like a wall or something like that, and I think he like takes off his mask or something, and he goes like, "You're not Peter."
Yeah.
Right. So like, I feel like little moments like that would be a great way to like introduce a character like Miles. Like maybe he like in a fight he calls him Miles or something like that, or like
Doc Ock knows that, he's looking for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
True. That is true.
So
I
don't think
they find a way
Doc.
to like reference.
I'm sure just like they just run into each other, like they're hopping universes, and all of a sudden you see over there at Radio Shack, fucking Miles Morales or some shit. You know what I mean? Just
there's so many subtle ways to do it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fucking dope though.
Yeah. So again, this comes out October of 2022. So a very long time from now is what that is. And why does it? Because we used to get trailers like 2 years before the movie would drop, right? Like, that's crazy. Because I remember, like, so when, as much as I hate the movie, I remember when Batman vs Superman was coming out. Like, we got the teaser like literally like I think a year and a half. I remember when Interstellar came out. That was like well ahead of when the movie was actually coming out. But now it just feels weird. Mm-hmm. And I guess I don't, maybe because of the pandemic, but I remember like we didn't get the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer for ever, and then like 2 months before the movie comes out, I was like, all right, we'll give you a trailer, and it's just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the same thing happened to Matrix. Like, I feel like these trailers are coming up against the clock, and the movie's coming out next week.
I think that's better, dude, because then I can just forget about the movie even coming out until it's about to, and then you're like,
it feels like, you know, pre-pandemic, whereas like you might get a trailer and it's like, this is dropping 8 months from now. Like that's kind of like, but then like we got a little bit spoiled during the pandemic where like they were just pushing everything to streaming. So like you may get a trailer for something that's like, oh, it'll be out in 2 or 3 weeks on Disney Plus or Netflix or Hulu or whatever.
Definitely got spoiled.
So I don't know. It's unfortunate we're gonna have to wait this long. Who knows what the fuck will happen between October now and October 7th of 2022.
A lot of shit can happen, dude.
It worries me to think about that, but we'll see.
January 6th, 2022 is right around the corner. Who the fuck knows what's gonna happen then?
Oh yeah,
we don't know. Are we gonna have a country? Are we not? I don't know. And Addy did say it was Spidey that he was talking about. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I did notice a little bit that the audio was just a little weird, but I kind of attribute that to like I didn't mind. I guess is what I'll say to that. So Addy, you and your sensitive ears.
If anything, it was a visual and like audio depiction of like what it may feel and sound like.
Addy,
to travel
have you ever
through.
traveled to an alternate dimension, motherfucker? You know, how the fuck is the sound
How do you
quality?
know what it sounds like?
Yeah. Anyways, moving on. We're gonna move on to some more topics here. Ridley Scott. This dude, I don't know. The more and more I keep looking at it, Ridley Scott might be my guy. I'm not really terribly high on Ridley Scott's movies. I mean, Gladiator was great. I'm not gonna sit here in front. Alien was awesome. I don't know about Prometheus and Alien. What's it called? Alien Covenant or whatever the fuck it was called.
Shit, computer just died. Let's keep going though.
Fuck. Do you need a?
No. Let's keep going.
Sure.
Yeah, 100%. I got my phone.
Because I got the little charge thing here.
No, let's keep going.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Ridley Scott is my dude. Okay. Because he gives absolutely no fucks. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna show you what the fuck I'm talking about here. All right, I got receipts on myself. Hold on, let me set myself up here. Yo, have you ever met like one of those like really like old people who they don't understand or they don't their regulation of what is appropriate and what is not appropriate is like gone.
Yo, that's me. That's like
no. But like, imagine you plus like 40 years.
I'll get there.
No, it's terrifying. Yeah. That's what that is. It's terrifying.
Especially if you've got enough money. Like if you got fuck you money, which he clearly has.
Apparently. All right, let's watch this real quick. Hold on, let me see if the audio's up. Yep.
The dangerous thing is if you make it too artistic, it is perceived as art and not as the truth. I think what I try to do is don't let art get in the way of the story. So my job is to not smother us with wonderful looking images and smother the story. The most important thing for me is the central story, the character, because the film is really about the dilemma of a woman.
So it's a very realistic film. It looks more realistic than Kingdom of Heaven or Robin Hood, if we're talking about your...
fuck you, thank you very much. Fuck you, go fuck yourself. Go on.
Listen, there's this Instagram video I saw, right? Yeah. And it's not like a video of a person, but it's like a voiceover, right? It's like someone's clearly on a boat and they're sailing across the water, and it's just like really like just calm, confident voice, right? Yeah. And so the thing goes, and I'm paraphrasing here, I only have one regret in my life, and that is that I didn't tell enough people, fuck you, right? Which he clearly did here. Yeah. It feels good sometimes to say to somebody, you know, fuck you, fuck off. Where would they say in what would they say in the UK? Is it fuck off or piss off or?
I'm not from the UK, so
you watch UK Love Island. Yeah, I think they say like
what did Tommy Fury say? I don't know.
Yeah. Whatever country you're
wank
from.
Off? Is that the thing?
Wank off? Nah, that sounds all a little
I heard
dirty.
From Love Island was my head turned. That's it.
Oh,
That's the
my head turned. But yeah, man. Like I feel like at a certain point, like when you're either confident in your work, you're happy with yourself, you're happy with what you've done, and like these journalists, like we see it all the time, and like
we just saw it with the Buffalo Bills with
the post. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to bring up. These journalists,
Hyde, not Carlos Hyde, Micah Hyde,
Mm-hmm.
Micah Hyde, and I think Parsons. I forget Parsons' first name, but the reporter was asking them, "Hey guys, are you guys embarrassed?" It was something to the tune of like, "Hey, the Pats ran literally and only threw 3 passes. They ran the entire game on you and only threw 3 passes. Are you embarrassed by your performance?" And they were just like, "You little bitch."
Yeah, like, and they were as respectful as possible, you know what I mean? But like at sometimes you just want to tell people like, dude, fuck you. And you don't really get to say it enough. There are a lot of people I wish I would have been like, and then you know me, I don't really have much of a filter, but there's still a lot of people I wish I was like, man, fuck you.
Yeah. Well, at a certain point, I think the reason there's a difference between the last story we covered for Ridley Scott and this story, right? The last story we covered for Ridley Scott was basically him talking about how the failure of you gotta let me know if you gotta go, man.
No, listen, we got 9:30. Okay. We'll wrap that.
How Ridley Scott was blaming millennials for the not great success of The Last Duel. And that he was like, oh, it's millennials and their cell phones. They're just, liking their something to the tune of that. I don't know. It was like, man, shut up. You sound old as fuck right now. Talking about, oh, it's cell phones. That's the reason why your movie bombed.
Yeah.
Right. This is different. In that, look, and here's, sometimes you can't blame somebody because of how they ask a question, right? There's actually nothing wrong with the question that he asked. He just asked it a very blunt and weird way. If you're trying to be respectful, you wouldn't ask him that. You'd be like, hey, The Last Duel seems like it's a little bit of a, it seemed like it was shot differently than Kingdom of Heaven or whatever fucking movies that he mentioned, or
Robin Hood, yeah.
I said, hey, it looks like it's shot a little different. What kind of techniques did you think that you had to improve on, or whatever the case is, in order? And Ridley Scott probably would have been fine with answering that question, but he said, hey, those movies look like shit. This looks pretty fucking awesome. Tell me about that. And it's like, bitch, what?
Yeah.
I worked on those movies 5 years out of my life, you son of a bitch. I put every ounce I had into that shit, and you're just gonna just blow it off. It's like, yeah, they didn't look that great. Yeah. This looks pretty good though. It's like, fuck you, right?
Now granted, I think journalists should be able to ask more honest questions, right? Because a lot of the times,
honest questions is okay. It's the particular way. Like again, during that whole Buffalo Bills exchange there was a way he could have asked that question that wasn't that.
Yeah.
Right? There's an interpretation of that question. It's like, hey man, they really kicked your butts tonight. They just ran literally the entire game and seemed not to have too much difficulty running the ball, even though everybody knew that they're going to run the ball, right? How do you guys? What do you feel about that? Like, what is it? What it goes through your mind as they're running it?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm sure they'll answer that when we say, "Are you embarrassed?"
Yeah.
Bitch, how do you want me to respond to that?
And that's the difference between like the great journalists and like just the the writers, right? Both can write, both can push out an article for like the online blog or the newspaper or whatever. But I think the great journalists ask questions in a way that leads to insightful or thoughtful answers, right? Now, some writers, however, what they want is a quotable, right? Like, I already know what I'm going to write. I already have the story written. I'm just here to ask you a question that's going to like upset you, piss you off, rub you the wrong way, so I can get a great quote for my article. I feel like that's maybe what was happening here. Now, granted, this wasn't, he wasn't writing anything. This was an interview, but I feel like in asking that question, he probably knew that he was going to get a reaction.
It didn't look like he did, though. It looked like he sincerely asked that because he sincerely thought that. And then he was just asking it like it was a regular... Like, it didn't seem like he had, like, malice. Like, usually, when somebody's got something good that they're like, ooh, I'm about to let this shit off. It just seemed like he was just asking, like, yeah, those movies are shit. This is actually pretty good. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, it seemed like he was just like, wait, whoa, what the fuck?
Even better, though. Like, I'm going to ask you a question in a way, and I feel like he may have known, right? Like, let's say he did. Entertain me for a second, right? Let's pretend he knew that, like, hey, this question is going to rub this person the wrong way because they're very protective of their work, or like there's a slight to this question, and I know it's gonna hit. What better thing to do as the journalist is to make yourself look like, hey, like I am a non-biased journalist for a reputable news institution, right? Yeah. Is to ask a fucked up question but maintain the poise, like, I'm just asking. I just wanted to know, right? And then let that person react, and then you've got your clickbait right there.
But moving on to Ridley's side of it, don't blame him at all. Fuck you, piece of shit, asking me if what was the difference between this movie that you thought was shot well and the other movies that you thought were shot like shit. Fuck you. Fucking, you lucky I don't live in your same fucking zip code.
About to send shooters.
I really don't blame people for, like, and what I would wish about reporters sometimes is that, remember that the people you're talking to are people, right? Yeah. And so I think inevitably sometimes that what happens is that they talk to the people as if they're like machines that don't have feelings or can't have feelings. It's like, motherfucker, yeah, your feelings can be hurt. If somebody just said the work you spent X amount of years of your life working on, whether it's writing or directing or whatever the fuck it is, act as if you didn't actually labor for that shit, right? As if you didn't actually give it your fucking full effort, you know? Yeah. And it's like somebody saying, like, coming up to that dude and be like, yo, those last 5 articles you wrote were actual dog shit, right? And I'm sure he's used to his fucking boss telling him that, so I'm sure he's like, par for the course, right? It's just that we call that a Wednesday, right? But it's like somebody coming up to him and telling him they were dog shit. That's not going to leave him feeling like, oh, you know what? I'm going to answer this very thoughtfully and candidly. It's like, no, bitch, I'm going to react the way somebody reacts when you call what they're doing shit. Yeah. It's to say, fuck you.
You know where I saw that recently? There's a show on, I believe it was on HBO, White Lotus.
I'm going to start that show. I've heard a couple people talk about it.
It's like, it's so strange, that show. It's a weird show. In a very good way. It's like, it's like you're just watching, waves crash, right? There's nothing particularly
going on.
There's no dolphin jump. You're not seeing any, like, animals or whatever. You're just watching the waves crash, but it's just so pleasant to watch. That is how I would describe this show. Shit happens. Don't get me wrong. There's gonna be times where you're like, holy shit. And then things kick up out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then, like, it just goes back to kind of being like, watch the show. It's a really good show. I'm glad I watched it. Sure. But and I'm gonna ruin a scene for you, but it's not that big of a deal, right? As part of the show, there's a scene in the show in which, like, basically a journalist approaches a woman like, oh, hey, I am this journalist for this, like, this blog site, and I did an article on you, praising women's work in corporate America, right? Mm-hmm. And the woman who is the CEO of this, like, company, right, was basically just like, oh, wow, you wrote that article? Fuck you. Because that article, like, you may think that you were praising me for, like, being a woman in this, like, male dominated workspace, but what you were really doing was far more damaging, because you're, like, making it seem like women in the workplace are so much different than men, and that, like, therefore then they wouldn't deserve the same respect that men do for doing the same work. But, like, basically, like, her article actually came off the wrong way. She thought she was doing something well, but it was really like, no, you're a piece of shit. You should have really thought about what you were saying and, like, how you did the thing, instead of just doing it because from your lens it was okay. And I really like that, and it just reminded me of this, because I could imagine as a director or as an actor, whatever you do, right, when someone asks you a question or writes an article about you, and, like, they may think like, oh, I'm critiquing them slightly, but also, like, saying, oh, they're, like, great at what they do, but it's like that slight critique could really rub the person the wrong way. And maybe it was meant to insult that person, maybe it wasn't, but at the same time, I don't know, sometimes you guys tell somebody, fuck you.
but also, I think what happens too is, like, when people write shit, like, it's subjective, like, especially when it's about like movies or whatever. It's all subjective. We argue religiously on the show about how we feel about. We just argued about Iron Man 2, right? Yeah. and so when somebody writes an article or says something like that, it's like, bruh, you're saying that as if it's an absolute fact. When in reality, it's just how you felt about it. People are going to watch Kingdom of Heaven or Robin Hood. Now, I don't think too many people actually did that, but people are going to watch Kingdom of Heaven or Robin Hood and be like, yo, that shit was dope, you know? But because you're writing the article, you get to set that tempo. You get to set that that bar of, you know what? We're going to start off on this was shit, okay? And then we're going to move forward from there. But it's like, that's your opinion. That's not...
Yeah.
That's not, that's not a fact of life, that these two movies suck.
I don't know though, man. Journalists can be really disrespectful sometimes in their critiques and opinions. Like, while bland and unimpressive, Channing Tatum's performance in this movie still somehow managed to delight. And it's like, yo, what?
Bruh, you talk like you have never gotten punched in your face.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you
I
speak,
will see
right?
you. We live in the same city. You write for the New Yorker. I live in New York. I will see you.
Yo, I feel like that's how a lot of people, I feel like, live their life, especially people of like privilege, and I really do wish this wasn't the case, right? Like I wish that, because even saying this sentence, it feels stupid, right? Like, what, are you gonna go fight everybody you disagree with, or somebody who says something hurtful about it? It's like, hey, yeah. But it sounds silly on the surface, but I do think that there are some people who do operate as if they could just say whatever and there are no consequences. And I always love what Charlemagne God, what he always says in this case is like, look, you're free to say whatever the fuck you like, but other people are free to respond. Like, yeah. And I feel like some journalists, especially like, I write for the New York Times, I write for the New Yorker, I write for the LA Times, it's just like, yeah, but you can still catch these hands.
Yeah, like, you write for the New York Times, but you live on 31st Street, and I know where that's at.
I know where you eat your lunch, man.
Yeah.
I know where you get your noodles from.
I know you go to Cava.
Yeah, I just feel like sometimes, man, people do operate as if they've never been punched in the face, and I feel like everybody should be punched in the face at least once in their life, just so you know how it feels,
my rule. Nobody is above being slapped. Nobody. A slap has corrected many a wrongs, and I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, dude. I like it as I like. I'm like, yo, there are mad people out there who really do operate in life like they haven't been slapped or just met a confrontation.
You can't hit me.
Yeah, like I understand.
Yes, I can.
You're I'm not condoning violence here, clearly, right? But what I am saying is that
sometimes it is necessary.
It bothers me sometimes when I hear people say things, especially when they say things with such with such confidence, and you're like, well, that's unearned confidence because. I can fucking just punch you in the mouth right now, right? Like, I feel like you can only, like, if you're the fucking Rock, okay, all right. You can say pretty much whatever the fuck you like, and I'm probably not going to say anything about it, right? I mean...
But when you turn your back, I will throw this rock at your fucking head.
If you're Dwayne Johnson and you say some shit, I might not be as froggy with you, but even The Rock speaks like somebody who's been punched in the mouth a time or two, where it's just like, I think that's why he got into the whole thing with Vin Diesel, right? Was that he just felt like Vin Diesel was being, at least word on the street was that he felt like Vin Diesel was being like mad disrespectful to people. And he was like, that's not how I do business. Like, you either respect people or you don't. You know? And clearly you don't. So I'm not going to bang with you. But he didn't come at it from some tip like, where he was just straight up disrespectful to Vin Diesel and was just like, well, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? But he like, clearly, like, I feel like that was instigated
behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Because Rocky has an image to uphold, right? So he's probably going to handle it somewhat professionally.
Well, he did call him a candy ass bitch or something like that in public. So
yeah.
I feel like that was like the one time where we saw like, oh no, the Rock was like, he was on some shit.
Such a Dwayne Johnson insult.
Yeah, Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Rock's been the Rock for so long that there is
He
no
can't
separation.
unbecome that character. Or I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe
Rudy
maybe
Poo.
that character was really just so much of him that
Who
it's
else
like
comes out with Rudy Poo,
Yeah.
Candy Ass, the millions and millions of the Rock's fans? Who does that?
Yeah.
Of course, that was that's who he's always been. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on to another story, and I think maybe we could do. We'll see if we can get both of these in. I think we can do it before 9:30, right? What time is it? Yeah, 9:15.
yeah, we got a little bit of time.
Let's talk real quick. George Clooney. They say don't count other people's pockets, right? And I think that's generally some good advice in life, right? Like, don't look at the person standing next to you and be like, what are you pulling in right now, right? Worry about your fucking self, right?
Yeah. I gotta say, I somewhat disagree with that. I wonder like why people are so afraid to talk about money.
Well, it's just like anything else, personal, right? Where, especially here in the U.S., it's money is such a status symbol, right? And like, think about it, right? Like, those without money go out of their way to show that they do have money. Those with money couldn't most of the time give a fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like, people with like real money. Although even as I say that, like, they just flex differently than I think.
Yeah, and you know what I think that is? I think it's because like there's this whole notion like you can't talk about don't talk about money, religion, and what's the other thing?
Politics.
Yeah, politics. What you do at home when nobody else is home. I don't know. Is it though? Like, is religion really personal? Like, why though?
Because it's a belief.
Well, if you believe it, why not like practice it publicly?
No, people do.
Like, why not talk about it? I feel like if you believe in your religion, you should talk about it. Like, hey, this is what I believe, and this is why I believe what I believe, and I respect your beliefs, and share with me yours. Because
it's a true belief that people have disagreements of, like, if me and you are different religions, right? And religions are weird in that they say if you believe in this religion, you cannot even acknowledge the other one is like a thing, right? So if I then say that this is my God, and then you're like, nah, agree to disagree. This is the God that we should worship. Well, now we got a problem, like, because I can't go over there. It's like having like two CEOs, right? Like, one person can't be like, I'm the CEO, and then another person be like, I'm the CEO. What the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah, listen,
it's not two CEOs.
The investors are like, listen, we don't give a fuck. Just make sure our stocks stay healthy. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, what you're talking about are the people who are getting their pockets like you're talking about Joel Osteen.
Both of you can do the job.
Do you hear about this? Joel, whatever the fuck his name is.
600,000 in the walls.
Found in the walls. Yeah. He's like, I don't care who you believe in, just keep lining them goddamn pockets, son.
So I think the point you were gonna make is like, to people it's personal. Like I believe this so strongly that like your disbelief in my belief offends me in some way, right? Yes. But like I feel like how it really should be is if you so strongly believe what you believe, then nothing should be able to sway you. Even if
it's not about swaying you, you're trying to sway other people. That's the problem.
Or why? Why are you trying to? You believe what you believe. Because I believe what I believe. That should be it.
No, Aaron, you understand this. So you're trying not to.
I do understand it. Okay. And what I'm highlighting is the fact that it's so silly.
I agree. Yeah.
If you so strongly believe what you believe, then continue to believe that, even if I don't. But like
wait, hold on. This is bullshit coming. Something smells like bullshit. You know why this is bullshit? I've never met a more argumentative a couple of brothers as you and Finn.
I argue.
Yes, you argue. So
but there are certain things that I like, when it comes to like certain things like that, like I'm not a very religious person. Mm-hmm. So if you come to me and you say you're Catholic, fantastic. Believe what you want to believe. If you're a Christian, believe what you want to believe. If you're Muslim, if you believe
that's because we haven't found a thing that you want to argue about. You know what I mean?
Or no, I don't think I'll ever. There isn't that thing. Like I'm not going to.
For anybody who knows.
Well, like when it comes to like religion,
to
right?
This podcast, right? No, I'm talking. You clearly don't give a fuck about religion. Yeah. But even that you'll argue about. I remember we've.
Listen,
many. You fucking hypocrite.
But wait, I'm going to argue about it. But like,
let me let you finish.
Yeah, my arguments are more just like inquiries, like, why do you believe what you believe? And tell me, like, but I'm never going to say, like, oh, you shouldn't believe what you believe because I believe what I believe. Anyway, same thing with, like, politics, right? Like, the reason I think all of this has happened, why you shouldn't talk about these things, it is so that people can, move in the shadows and live in secrecy. They can pretend to be, I believe in, equality and peace, but then they vote for, like, Trump or something like that, which, like, counters, like, how they pretend to be on the surface. Like, no, I believe that, like, you should have rights, but then they're like, oh, the Bible said, well, I believe in equality for everybody, but I also believe in the Bible, which says Adam and Eve should lie. Bullshit like that. And I feel like that is why people are like, oh, you don't talk about these things for those, like,
I think one
secretive reasons.
One could make an argument, especially if you're talking about money, which we're going to talk about here with George Clooney. But yeah, one could make an argument that, like, why, like, some employers might not want their employees to talk about money is to not try to, like, figure out, wait, you're getting paid how much? How much am I getting paid? Oh, wait, that shouldn't be.
And
like,
the employees are stupid to do that. You should talk about how much you're being paid, right? Because that's how a lot of times women are underpaid, where their male counterparts are making the same or making more money than they're making, right? Whereas if it were more public, then companies wouldn't be able to do that. They wouldn't be able to pay one person X amount and pay another person less than because of their gender or their race or whatever. Yeah. But all the employers are like, oh, we can't talk about our money. It should be like, no, we're doing the same job. What are you making? If I'm making more than you, you need to ask for more money.
Yeah, but it could also work and this is in no way, shape or way saying, like, I don't believe in, like, unions, or I don't believe that actually should be the case, that people should be more open. But what I can kind of foresee happening with that is if everybody's open about, like, what they make, and I find out that the scrub who works 5 cubicles down, who fucking shows up 2 hours late and fucking, doesn't do the work as well as I do the work, if they're getting paid the same as me, I'm going to be fucking hot. But when I go to the, the higher ups, whoever to fucking say, hey, I need to be getting paid more if this guy's getting paid this much. When that guy finds out how much I'm getting paid, then that guy's going to be like, oh, what the fuck? Why is that guy? I mean? And then it's a fucking never ending cycle of just.
Well, then in that case, I mean, you'd be able to prove, I believe in raises, right? So, like, like, let's say you, day one, all things equal, you both get the same job, you're both making $70,000 a year, right? But then over the course of the year, you prove that, hey, I'm very productive. I've done this much in sales. I've driven this much revenue.
If everything's opened, I would assume that it's not, well, and we're having a very useless argument because it depends on, like, the actual specific circumstance.
Yeah, it's very, like, nuanced, right? Yeah. There's so many things, so many different variables that can happen. But I do feel like this whole secrecy, don't talk about religion, it's silly. I don't get it.
Fair enough. What apparently isn't that much of a secret is potentially getting paid $35 million for 1 day's worth of work, and you're like, nah, I'm good. It must be a good life. That's a good life
to turn down $35 million,
and kind of with the shoulder shrug, be like,
yeah, and like with confidence in that decision, right?
Yeah. It's like, know you're never going to, like, regret that scenario.
Yeah, because a lot of times people will say, like, oh, I didn't need it, but deep down they're, like, hurting, like, I cannot believe I made it. But on the surface they want to look confident. Yeah. To turn down $35 million, and then the day after and the week after, the month after, still be confident in that decision because you really didn't need it. I don't know what that feels like.
Now, what are we talking about? So George Clooney apparently in an interview said, hey, I was offered by an airline to do, some sort of ad, or I don't know what the fuck it was supposed to be, but to do something for them. And they were going to pay me $35 million for essentially 1 day's worth of work. And after talking with his wife, apparently the airline was associated with a country that he was just like, this could be an issue here. They had some pretty unethical things. Now, I would argue that you probably do sponsorships or shit in America all the time, and
yeah,
America's pretty.
Where's your coffee made? Like, because he owns that coffee company.
Well, does he own, like, a tequila or some shit like that?
Yes, he owns. I think Casamigos is George Clooney's, which is, like, the hottest tequila out right now.
Really?
Yeah, black people love Casamigos. I swear to God, we don't even know who George Clooney's. Like, yo, like,
Clooney, pour it up.
Listen, he didn't need to knock over those casinos. He could have just put Casamigos in the black community.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play defense of George Clooney in this case, okay? The reason why I'm going to play defense is because what often happens, think about it this way. Why the fuck would somebody offer you $35 million for one day's work unless they fucking knew, like, oh, if we get George Clooney, we can clean up our PR department. Oh, they will fucking love us. We can clean that shit up. We got Clooney out there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not torturing people, guys. God, we got Clooney. Would we be torturing people if we had George Clooney? I mean, guys.
Yeah.
Am I right? You know, like, so it's just like, if you know you're gonna fucking be the face of some fucking bullshit ass, but again, I would then argue with Clooney. Well, I mean, you do American shit all the time, and if you talk about questionable morals,
yeah.
I truly feel like America might
just
not
as
have
questionable
a leg
as
to
whatever
stand on.
country this airline was probably for.
Yeah, like. In fact, America's probably bombing that country as we speak.
Oh my God, yes. I really want to know what the country was, because it's just so I can look up like how many casualties have the United States been responsible for.
Exactly. We just ordered in the last 34 hours. I don't know.
Hours. Listen, you offer me $35 million, dude. I don't know if there's anything I wouldn't do.
No. Okay. Look at
Robert Kelly Airlines. Listen, I believe I can fly.
Robert Kelly. Who the fuck is that?
R. Kelly.
Oh shit.
Did that joke go over your head?
You said Robert Kelly. I was like, is that somebody from Catch Me If You Can or some shit like that? Who the fuck is that?
Frank Abagnale's the pilot.
Jesus Christ. No, dude. There's some shit that's just not worth it. Meaning that, like, okay, you might have $35 million, but over the course of time, though, that money's going to get spent. Like, you'd be hard pressed to spend. Well,
unless you buy those stocks during the dip and then you turn one into two.
No, but I guess what I'm trying to say is like, jokes aside, there are some things that aren't worth your reputation, especially like somebody like George Clooney. You're not really hurting for money, right? You're not fucking out there begging people for money. So it's just like, why would I ruin my great reputation that could like, ask Aaron Rodgers. Everybody thinks he's a fucking idiot now because he went on this whole fucking COVID fucking tangent, you know, and it's like, well, that's gonna fucking taint his legacy. I imagine if he could go back and be like, maybe I shouldn't say that, you know, maybe I'll just hold that, you know. I'm pretty sure he fucking would, but now for the rest of the time, I'm sure like 2 years from now we probably won't fucking remember this. But
in his case,
be that little fucking
people are always looking for a reason to like dislike Rodgers, and he gave it to them, right?
They hate him anyway, so he's just
they're gonna make sure that sticks with him. But yes, you're absolutely right. Like, I think George Clooney, for him, this may have been, you know, does this tarnish my brand? Does this not tarnish my brand? Like, is the money worth it at the end of the day? And he's in a position.
No, dude, him. Not only is he making bank, his wife's like a lawyer, like a high fucking ticket lawyer. Yeah,
she's like
right?
she's like one of like the fucking world's renowned international rights lawyer.
$35 million. We are bringing in the cash. We don't fucking need your money.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would we ruin our shit? And that's why he said he went home and talked to her. He was like, I mean, we could make this, you know, that might give us, what we're going to try to go. What summer vacation are we taking this year? Do we need it for it? No.
Nah.
You got that big case
it's already
up?
booked. It's already booked.
You know, so
it's when you've got $400 million, like, what is another 35, right? Especially if it's going to tarnish your reputation. You may walk away from the money.
Yeah. It's just hard for the rest of us brokies to imagine having that much money where we see that and we're like, you fucking
where I am
shit.
today, I would kill 3 innocent people for $35 million. I'm sorry. I'd do it. Women, children.
Jesus Christ.
I would drown a puppy.
Yo, if you ever have any court cases in the future, this podcast,
figuratively speaking, you gotta add that disclaimer. Figuratively speaking,
Jesus Christ,
I'm gonna be sitting with Gayle King like, you think I would ruin my life? A couple weeks later, I'm indicted.
What would be the craziest thing you would do? You said you would kill people. What if somebody was like, yo, you have to jerk off on national TV for 20 minutes straight?
Bro, I would jerk off Harvey Weinstein
What?
on national television.
Why is that the first
this is a TV and film podcast, and we know it. We know.
Harvey Weinstein.
This has happened before. He's a nasty fucking old man. Listen, I'd give Donald Trump a hand job on Fox News Live.
And this might get us pulled from the airways.
Get my magnifying glass. And just...
old Don's got to get it up. He's got to get rubbed up. I don't know what the craziest thing I would do for $35 million. There probably isn't a whole lot I would say no to for $35 million. But again, it depends on your perspective, right? If you're already good, okay.
Would you throw a Molotov cocktail into a middle school?
It depends. Is it already evacuated?
Maybe. Oh, I would do it. Fuck, these kids better run. I hope it's gym class.
Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, we're terrible people. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for tonight. We love and appreciate you guys, even though we're fucking degenerates. We'll be back next week, perhaps for an abbreviated show, because I am going to go see The Matrix next week, so it might not be as long of a show tomorrow, or next week, or maybe we'll start a little earlier. I don't know. We haven't quite figured it out yet. We got to figure it out, but either way, we'll still deliver a show. We'll just let you know all the deets. But yeah, with that being said, I think we'll go ahead and get the fuck out of here. Like, subscribe, share, all that shit. Until then, until next week, we'll hit the usual protocol.
Fade out.
Peace. Hope these kids can run. Oh, man.